All right, folks, we will get started momentarily. I've got a couple people having some tech issues, and I'm just trying to do some quick troubleshooting for them. First happens, always happens the first week, totally normal. So we will start in just a few minutes after I do a few troubleshooting things and or referrals to tech support. I was muted, y'all, because I was helping with some last minute tech support, which is why we started late. So I'm gonna just type, let's see. So I just typed into the chat, so please let me know if you can't hear, but I was on mute because I was just trying to spend a few minutes helping with some tech issues that invariably come up. So here we are started, we are recording. Welcome to class. Just know if you have any other tech issues, don't worry, it's all part of the first week. So before we get started, I do want to say, yes, your syllabus lists all of our in-class activity dates as Tuesdays. That was an error on my part. For the past 3 or 4 semesters, all of my 2311 classes have been on the same day of the week, all of them. Very long teaching day on Zoom, but I had them all on one day. So this is the first time in close to a year where I have taught on the same class on different days of the week. My brain forgot to account for that. So you will be getting a revised syllabus on Monday. So I will take care of that so everything is clear and correct. I do apologize for the confusion. For now, just substitute for Tuesday, substitute Thursday for our in-class exercises. And again, corrected schedule coming out Monday. So with that in mind, we're going to start with some introductions. I'll introduce myself briefly, and then I'll have Catherine come on to introduce herself and what her role as our embedded tutor, which I'm so excited about. So I'm Professor Allison Whipple. This is starting my 9th year at ACC. I also taught tech writing for engineers at Case Western Reserve in Cleveland, Ohio. And I've worked as an independent teacher and writing consultant in between my academic stints. I've been a freelance editor, primarily serving small businesses and sole proprietors. I've also done some in-house work. I've just had a lot of experiences that have, my education was important, but it was being out there in the workforce that really guided a lot of what I do today in the classroom. And I'm happy to, I'm happy that I get to be part of ACC and I get to teach y'all about tech writing. So with that, Catherine, would you like to introduce yourself and talk about our exciting tutoring program?
Y'all have to forgive me. I've been having a lot of problems with allergies this week, so my throat is really sore. But hi, my name is Catherine Wadbrook. I've been with ACC. I'm starting my 7th year. In addition to being a tutoring specialist, I also am an adjunct professor in the Department of Composition and Literary Studies, formerly known as English. But I've been teaching for about 30 years, all sorts of different writing classes, and I am happy to be here with you all in tech writing. It's one of my favorites because it is immediately easy to get students to see the usefulness of the types of writing that they're doing, whereas if you're teaching literary analysis, sometimes it's more difficult to make them understand that this is also useful. In any case, let me just apologize, first of all, for sending out the incorrect survey link. I hope you all saw both of the announcements, and I noticed that some of y'all have already responded to the survey, so thank you for that. But if you have not, or you were a real early bird and responded to the first link, if you could go ahead and respond again at the correct one, just because if you responded the other one, you're mixed in with other sections of totally different courses. Because I am available to you this semester for both individual tutoring sessions, one-on-one, but I'm also trying to set up some group time, sort of like a professor's office hour where you can just drop in and ask a question. Sometimes we will also do, for example, if you're working on a proposal or a memo or something, in that group session, we might go over, here are the important things to remember when putting together a memo, or other skills or concepts that you're learning in the class, where I would give a brief workshop presentation, 10 or 15 minutes, and then y'all can ask questions there. But the two are different. If you want one-on-one attention, or you want me to review your specific paper, then the individual tutoring sessions will be your best bet. In any case, I'm just going to show you real quick. Oh, may I screen share, please, Professor?
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting that I need to do this for every section.
Yeah, Zoom has a bad memory, I've found.
It does. All right, it looks like you should be good to go.
Okay. So this is your course, of course. I sound like a, never mind. Anyway, this is the correct form for the survey here in my most recent announcement and email. But if you go over into your course link, you'll see that I have my very own little area here, embedded tutor. And if you click on that, it will open up the embedded tutor area. There's a short introductory video which tells you a little bit more about me, how I like to be addressed, some tips for scheduling the sessions, etc. And down here, this gives you some of the same information, but the video is short, so I recommend that you watch it anyway. You can also make fun of my very nervous delivery of what I'm saying there. I have a hard time looking into a camera and pretending that I'm talking to people. In any case, here you see my email address, which you are welcome to use anytime, and a document that I suggest that you put a shortcut to in your Google Drive. This basically, again, introduces you to me a bit, and it talks about the purposes of the weekly tutoring sessions. And maybe most importantly, it gives you a link to the tutoring request form where you can request an individual session, or if you've been working with a couple of your classmates, you can request a group session too. At a specific time, if you want to bring one or two other folks along, if you're all working on the same project. Before I show you the request form, I'm sorry to say that decisions were made above my pay grade to change how online tutoring is done after Labor Day. It would have been better if they got it done before the semester started, but they did not. So 2 weeks from now, none of these processes that I'm showing you right now will apply. However, they have not trained me on anything yet. So I will give you the information about that as soon as I have it. But for the time being, until I tell you otherwise, this is how you request an appointment with me. You go to this link and it will bring up a form. You just put in your name, your ACC EID, and email address. Make sure, however, that you're using your student ACC email address, because as you see here, if I put in my faculty one, the rest of the form does not show up. So don't use Gmail or anything else like that, because it won't work for you. Use your ACC email address. This is the study group option. If you want to bring friends, you just tick that box. Please choose the online campus. Regardless of any on-the-ground campus you might be associated with, I work for the online campus. So if you want this request to come directly to me, you need to choose that, because otherwise it'll go the long way around and it may be delayed. Then, of course, you select your subject and select me as your tutor. And then on the handout that I showed you, I have some hours where I'm available for tutoring. You can check that first, because those are my preferred times and days of when I do tutoring, because I also have other responsibilities in my job. So if you can pick from that schedule and give me 2 or 3 times or days that will work for you. I want to emphasize, however, if you look at that schedule and you're like, that's never going to work. I work all those times, or I'm at home with my kids during those times, I can't. Don't just throw up your hands and decide that you're never going to get any help from me all semester long. Use that email address and email me and say, I know this is outside of your schedule, but would you possibly have any time Wednesday evening after 6? Or you'll notice that there's not a lot of morning times on there. I can often fit morning appointments in, but I also have lots of meetings I have to be in. So my point is, don't hesitate to ask me. I mean, if I'm not available, I'll just say I can't do that time, but I'm going to work really hard to find a time that we can have a session when it's good for you and it works with my schedule. So please don't just look at that schedule and give up. Also, after Labor Day, I may revise and revamp that schedule, because I am asking you to fill out this survey that gives me a better idea of when you will be available and won't be available. Okay. So Then, of course, you put Professor Whipple's name in here so I know what class you're requesting. But here's where it's really nice having an embedded tutor. You can be very brief about your assignment instructions, because if you just say, memo assignment from week 2, I have access to your whole course, right? I'm right in there with you. So I will be able to know what that assignment is, what Professor Whipple's expectations are, all of the things that I need to know. If she's given you any readings to do, I will have access to those. So you can be very brief there. What I would like you to be specific about is what you want help with, okay? Because if you just say, I want help with this assignment, well, okay, but have you started it yet? Do you have a draft? Have you already gotten feedback from your professor and you're doing some revisions? What's going on with that assignment that you want help with? Also, if you've gotten feedback about being too wordy, or if you know that semicolons are the bane of your existence, if you tell me those things, I can prepare ahead of time. I can get some resources for you to take away with you after the tutoring session, things like that. The more information you give me, the better prepared I'll be to help you when you get there. Along the same line, please make sure that if you're wanting me to look at a draft, that you share it with me in your request, okay? Because I also will do that before I meet with you, and I will have read it and maybe even commented on it. So these instructions tell you exactly how to share the document so that I can have access and I can edit. I can put comments on it, okay? So that's basically me and how to get a hold of me and how to request a session. Does anybody have any questions at this point? I see Ian with his hand up.
Yeah, I was curious. I looked at the course schedule and it said in-class stuff was on Tuesdays, even though it shows that our meeting time is on Thursdays.
Yes, so that's not a tutoring issue. I did address that at the top of class. So just hang out and I will explain that to you after class, because we went over that at the start.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to get in.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, I will leave that survey open for the rest of the week and maybe even into Monday and Tuesday. So it takes, 3 minutes. Just fill it out, because I can't guarantee that you're going to get your first choice or anything like that. But if you don't even let me know, then you certainly won't, because I won't take it into account. So if you can, please fill that out for me. And if you think of a question later on this afternoon, feel free to email me. I hope y'all have a great semester.
Thank you, Catherine. I've been singing the praises of this new initiative all week. Just so excited for being able to have this embedded support. Catherine's heard this 3 times now, but that was one of my department's goals, was to figure out how to have more structured support for 2311 classes. And this whole thing started getting off the ground, and I'm just ACC did my job for me, so hooray. So now let's introduce ourselves. I will start, and what we're going to, you can just, when I call on you, go ahead and unmute. And I have a pretty weird icebreaker question, but that's because I got bored of all the regular ones. So your name, your major, and your favorite bird. And your favorite bird, it's okay if it's Tweety bird or chicken nuggets, just a bird. I do like birds. So if you're like, I've never thought of it, fiction bird, food bird, all good. So Professor Allison Whipple, teach technical writing, and I've been teaching since 2005. Oh my God, so long ago. And for favorite bird, I'm torn between the whooping crane, because when you get to see them, it's rare to see them. There's fewer than 100 in the world, super endangered. Not sure if that's ever going to improve. And I actually did get to see a mated pair on the Gulf Coast right before everything shut down in 2020, and it was amazing. Or the wild turkey, which is a really underrated bird. People think turkeys are kind of ugly, but a wild turkey is magnificent. They're just amazing. I know I've overused the word amazing, but so it goes. So Catherine, do you want to share your favorite bird with us?
Sure. And I would just like to let y'all know, and you think 2005 is a long time ago. Think 30 years, I think back. Oh my goodness. But I do have 2 master's degrees in both English and education, but my undergraduate degree was in economics. So I do have a bit of that background, and I carry it with me into pretty much everything I do: cost benefit analysis and optimizing the best benefit for the most people. So my favorite bird is really any bird that swoops to get things, like hawks or falcons. I like watching them glide on the currents, but then I also like the terrifying yet beautiful attack birds. I've seen a couple of hawks in my lifetime scoop up kittens, which was especially terrifying to watch. I don't think they expected that at all. But predator birds, I find fascinating.
Yeah, raptors are excellent. You might want to check out the book H is for Hawk. It's a memoir. You might just really.
I will definitely check it out. Thank you.
All right, so I like to go alphabetical by first name because having a last name at the end of the alphabet, I got to go last my whole life. So Angelica, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. So my name's Angelica Alvarez. I don't know if I have a favorite bird, but I mean, I like the way that peacocks look. They're pretty colorful and I like colors. My major, I am double majoring, so business general studies and construction management.
Nice. If y'all didn't know, there is a free peacock sanctuary in Austin, west of Mopac by the Laguna Gloria Art Center. It's pretty cool, but also peacocks can definitely be a little scary. So if you go at peak mating season, you'll get to see the coolest fans, but it's also, you might want to keep your distance. All right, Aiden Hogue.
Didn't expect to go next. Yeah, you already know my name. I'm majoring in biomedical engineering, and my favorite bird is the conure because I have one as a pet.
Nice. Are you thinking of transferring to A&M or UT or Texas Tech when you're done with ACC?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Brielle Angeletta.
Hello, my name is Brio Angeletta. I am majoring in computer programming, and my favorite bird is probably a hawk.
Thank you. Danny Lopez.
Hello, my name is Danny Lopez. I'm majoring in business management, and I've never really thought of birds, but I'd probably have to say like a hummingbird, just like the way they just like hover over flowers and stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
I actually got to see one like briefly at rest this summer. It was weird. It was just weird to see not moving for.
Last year I had like a ring that just like came up to my hand. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Ian Woodall.
Hi, my name's Ian. I am currently majoring in audio engineering, and my favorite bird would probably have to be a kookaburra because they sound funny.
They do. They do. Chelsea Mancha.
Hi, my name is Chelsea. My major is in applied science, and my favorite bird would probably be a crow just because it reminds me of Halloween.
Crows are pretty great. It was actually, I'm from Ohio where we have a lot of crows and we don't have grackles. And it was very weird for me to come here and be like, what are all these mini crows? Turns out they're not crows at all, but it was a weird bird change. All right, Miles Gregerson.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Miles Gregerson. I am a social media communications major, and my favorite bird is also a crow. I didn't mean to copy. It really is. They're really smart, and I think it's cool how like absurdly smart and how good their memory is.
Yeah, this is the first time in I don't even know how long that I've had a tech comm major in my 2311. Like, I think the last time was before the pandemic. Like,
wow.
So I'm just like, I'm fist pumping because I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually have a major in my class. It's amazing. Yeah. Miranda Rich.
Hi, my name is Miranda Rich. I'm majoring in nursing. I'm trying to get my BS in, and my favorite bird would have to be an owl.
Nice. Owls are there. I love them. Especially if you've never seen a burrowing owl, they're almost impossible to see. So you have to identify them by call, but they're quite interesting. Saul Cardona.
Yes, hello, my name is Saul. I am majoring in A&E CAD, and my favorite bird is the kiwi.
Nice. That is one you don't hear of very often.
Yeah, it just happens to also be my favorite animal. I just like how goofy looking they are.
Yeah. Teresa Porter.
Hi, I'm Teresa. My major is in business management, and then Danny took mine, but I think I'm just going to go with the hummingbird. I've seen them really close and they're really pretty, but I'm not about birds. Well, don't know much about them. So yeah, hummingbird it is.
It's okay if you have duplicate birds. It's not a problem at all. All right, then Richard Coleman.
Hi, my name's Rich. I'm in my third semester going for programming, and I have to say my favorite bird would be the bald eagle. I'd go fishing and I'd sit and watch them catch more fish than I was at the time. So, they're always fun to watch.
They are. I've only gotten to see one. I've only gotten to see him twice, but watching those dive is amazing. Also, fun fact, Ben Franklin wanted the wild turkey to be the national bird and not the bald eagle, but everyone else was like, raptors, way more majestic. All right, Richard Gomez.
Hello, my name's Richard Gomez. I'm majoring in automotive technology. My favorite bird would probably be the eagle.
They're great. There's actually, again, if y'all didn't know, there's a place out about an hour and a half west. It's called Canyon of the Eagles, and it is this, it's a part of the river that's it's dammed up, and there's golden eagles that have built a nest out there, and you don't always get to see them, but sometimes you can go out on the river during nesting season and see one, and if you get the chance, it's pretty awesome. All right, so let's move on to our activity. So as I mentioned in my opening email on Monday, you'll just want whatever you want to write with. We're going to do some 2-minute writing sprints. And so if typing works for you, that's great, because then you can copy paste your answers into the chat when we debrief. If you prefer to handwrite, that's fine. I do my class notes by hand in a notebook. So whatever you want, but I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. And then I'm going to share my screen. And just so you know, if for some reason you think you're not seeing what I'm seeing, please unmute and yell at me, because I can't always, when I'm screen sharing, I can't always tell if, if you're seeing what I'm seeing. So I will not be offended if you're like, I cannot see, none of this makes sense. I can't see or can't hear what's going on. But just the best way is to unmute because the chat is sort of less easy to see when I'm screen sharing. Anyway, so this is our introduction to technical communication, and we're going to do 5 questions, 2 minutes each. I'm just going to pull up my little stopwatch feature. So first question, 2 minutes. How did you learn how to write? All right, next question, 2 minutes. What have your other writing classes been like? Even if it's been a while, even if you've only taken high school writing, what have they been like? Next question, what kind of writing do you usually do at school? And I mean like in your other classes. All right, what kind of writing do you usually do at your job? You know, if you're not employed right now, think to past jobs, or maybe even imagine what your future career might be like. All right, last question. What do you think a technical writing class entails? All right, and that is our 10 minutes of writing. So now let's go through the questions. And I just want to, so I am going to pull up the, I'm going to pull up the chat so I can actually see it as a separate window. But go ahead and answer in the chat. How did you all learn how to write? Yeah, a lot of times the details get forgotten. Bilingual, great. Honestly, like if you actually did want to go into tech writing, being a bilingual tech writer is an amazing, skill. Yeah, elementary school. So most of us through school, but a lot of times our parents started teaching us either through homeschool or through something else. Wow, taught yourself to read. That is impressive. I remember my dad teaching me how to read. I don't remember so much anyone consciously teaching me how to write. Google. Honestly, like, I'll probably say this at other points. Even professional writers and editors look stuff up all the time about style and grammar because hardly anyone remembers everything. And journaling, great. Reading as well. Yeah. So lots of ways we can learn how to write. And what have other writing classes been like? Yeah, elementary school. Oh, all the reports in the military. Yeah, definitely. And that military skill set, that will definitely, as I think I said this in your discussion board post, it's definitely a good foundation. But all right, so either past or present writing classes, what have they been like? Short essays, blog posts. Oh yeah, blog posting exercises. Yep. Rigid in structure. Probably, yeah, good. Analysis on books. We won't really be doing that in this class. We might do some grammar, although I'll probably actually, Catherine is probably actually going to help with a lot of that. This is a sophomore level class. So I actually teach a freshman level grammar and style class. Any topics you wanted? Great, yeah. That's all right if you don't remember. You know, most of what I remember about high school writing is unfortunately like the bad things. I remember some very rigid rules and like weird habits I then had to break when I went to college. So this is good. A lot of you do seem to have some positive experiences and have gotten some tools that will help you in the future. Let's see. So if you, other classes that you take, what kind of writing do you typically do there, if any? Yeah. Formal communication techniques. I think the email unit is going to come naturally to you. We are going to be doing some citing and reference pages. I hate to tell you, we're not going to use MLA because no one uses it outside of English class in the actual like work world. Sorry. Oh yeah, intro to speech communications. That's a fun one. Yeah, academic style of writing. Notes and reports in certain formats. Technical writing, it does, I teach a lot of structural stuff with the caveat that there's more than one way to structure something, but I teach you a basic structure that you could build on. Yeah, note-taking, little paragraphs. And what kind of, let's see, oh yeah, discussion board posts, essay papers, unit summaries. Oh, good. That's implementing strategies into your life. That's always, I don't do a ton of reflection, but that's a form of reflection I find quite valuable because I want you to be able to apply this stuff in your actual work lives. Yeah. Persuasive writing. We will use persuasion as a writing tool, but we are not going to write a persuasive essay in this class. You can pretend for the rest of the semester that thesis statements do not exist. So, and at your jobs, what kind, oh, wait, did I ask about, no, I hadn't asked about work yet. What, at your job, if you write, what sort of writing do you usually do? Yes, you will definitely, Miranda, you will definitely be doing things like that. The next unit's going to be super useful for you. Writing work orders. Great. I'm so excited. because it's important to know how to do people. I actually occasionally have had auto students who are like, I don't write. I'll never need to know how to write at my job. I'm like, you're going to need to write a work order, and there are a lot of rules for that. Oh, Richard, you've written white papers. Cool, nice. We're not doing one this semester, but it's that you've definitely had some experience with that. Training programs, yes, sending out emails. So children, please stop doing that, emails. I like that. So it sounds like a lot of y'all already have a lot of great experience just from being at work, that you can bring into this class, and also you can take stuff from this class and apply it to things you're already doing to up the ante, as it were. And finally, what do y'all think a technical writing class entails? Because some people have a sense and some people are like, I have no idea. Yes, so we'll definitely be doing formatting, ways of conveying information. We are definitely going to have a discussion about email etiquette in week 3. Yeah, we are going to be doing peer critique workshops every week, writing about technology. Short, yes, we're going to be doing short papers. You can do long papers in tech writing. And I have taught those in the past, but I've been experimenting with short papers only. I did that last summer. It worked really well, rather than spending a month on a long paper. Several short papers, that's been really working with me. Yes, a style that anyone can read without becoming confused. On the right track. Sounding professional. Yeah, so technical writing is a lot of things. It's a pretty broad concept, but most of y'all have a good sense of a lot of the stuff we're going to be doing here. That being said, intro to class. So what are we doing? We are going to be doing some sort of, one more message. Yeah, writing concrete, good, yes. So what are we going to be doing in this class? I'm going to get this bar there. We are going to be doing some sort of practice writing in just about every class session, because that's the way you get better, is practice, 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 practice. This is my last class of the week. My brain's just like, reinforce class concepts with discussion boards and quizzes. I am not a big homework person, but as we only meet once a week, it's important for me to give you activities that do help you get practice and reinforce things. You know, if I just went to a piano lesson once a week for 90 minutes, but then never did scales or arpeggios or etudes at all, and if I just showed up, you know, on Tuesdays from like noon to 1:30 and just had a piano lesson, but never did any piano practice outside of that, I really wouldn't learn the skill of piano. So, you know, I don't want to, you know, I don't want homework to become a burden, because we all have things going on. But, you know, I definitely do want you practicing outside of class. So all of the discussion boards and quizzes and graded assignments, there with the aim of skill building, a reasonable amount of work, something you might do just a little bit every day to develop your acuity. You're going to draw on critical thinking, research, science, and a little bit of math to complete assignments. Now, if you're freaking out, don't worry. I'm not a math person. I had to be dragged kicking and screaming through high school math. I took math for poets my one semester in college, just got it out of the way and never looked back. That being said, I have found in my adult life that there is some high school level math that as technical writers, it's good for you to know how to use. And don't worry, your phone's calculator will get you through. I will provide you all of the context to succeed on these assignments. I don't expect you to memorize equations, but yes, as it turns out in my adult life, there have been, especially on the technical writing things, some practical applications for mathematics that, you know, if they'd been explained to me that way in 9th grade, I might have tried harder. Anyway, you'll refine your skills in the graded assignments. And there'll be a take-home final exam based on practical application of class material. And that'll be all open resource. You can use whatever you want from the class. Again, I don't expect anything of students that wouldn't be expected of a working professional, and working professionals look stuff up all the time. Truly, like no one remember, I mean, not no one, there are some geniuses out there, but most people don't remember every single tiny little punctuation rule there ever was. You just gotta, you look stuff up. So, if that's something that is considered normal and acceptable in the profession, it's normal and acceptable in this class. Our basic class structure. Well, this is orientation. Then week 16 is finals. And in between, we've got 7 2-week units with specific themes. In the first week of each unit, we're gonna have a skill building exercise in class. We'll have an introductory lecture, and then you'll have, again, homework activities to reinforce concepts. Again, it's not meant to be a burden. It's again, if we met every single day, I probably wouldn't assign homework. But when you've got a whole week between sessions, you definitely need to, again, it's just like doing scales. Or hitting the punching bag if you're a boxer or a martial artist. And it will, we'll actually usually start with the exercise before the introductory lecture. And my goal for that is to get you out of the overthinking it mind that so much of us, myself included, struggle with. So we dive into the activity and sweat it out and make mistakes. And then we'll go back and debrief and have the intro lecture, and you'll learn how to make it better. Then in the second week, there will be an in-class peer critique. If you see anywhere in an assignment about posting a draft to the discussion board, ignore it. I was doing that when we first went all online. I hate it now. So we're going to be doing Zoom room peer critiques. But going and manually changing everything in Blackboard, you miss things. So in that second week, there will also be a style or formatting lecture. So things like headings. I'm a big headings nerd. We'll be doing graphics twice. In 2 weeks, we'll have a really basic introduction to how to use graphics. And then about 3 weeks after that, we'll have a more advanced one. I might do additional reinforcement activities as necessary if I see the class as a whole struggling with a particular concept. That doesn't mean y'all are, not good students. It's just like some things take a while to stick. And that actually changes from semester to semester. I keep really detailed records of things, but no matter what I do, like some semesters, no one will understand how a process description works, and we'll just have to reinforce it. And that's the way it goes. And at the end of that second week, you'll submit a revised writing assignment. Also, when I do send, so Ian asked about the error, and yes, I did make an error putting everything on Tuesday for this class, because I forgot that for the first time in over a year, I wasn't teaching 3 sections in one day. So your actual written assignments, I'm also going to give you a couple of more days on that. Those will, the written assignments, the little assignments, we're not really, those are gonna, for now, those are gonna stay the same, but the bigger assignments, I'm gonna actually give you all till Sunday to do those. There's no big assignment due this week, just because I realized, oh yeah, they literally don't have the same amount of time to turn things in as the Tuesday class if they meet on Thursdays. So big assignments are gonna be pushed back till Sunday. And again, you can expect that updated course schedule on Monday. So my tips for success: complete your assignments on time. There's a chat message. Nothing due this Sunday, things are due Friday. So anything for week 1 is still due tomorrow. But life does happen. So if people get sick, or you get called into work, like back-to-back double shifts, or, your computer dies. So my late work policy, this is in the syllabus, and most of you have already taken the syllabus quiz and done quite well. congratulations, is, ideally within 48 hours, you'll email me with what you missed, your plan for catching up, and when I can expect that made up work to be done. So I've just been trying to be as flexible as possible in the pandemic. So far that's actually working. Being flexible, it turns out, works better than being strict in some cases. So, do complete assignments on time, but there is that late work contact me policy. Meet with Catherine for assistance on your assignments, and you will get 5 extra credit points for having tutoring one-on-one sessions with her. I can't say enough how excited I am to have her support for y'all. Attend office hours when you need to. And if my office hours really don't work for you, I try to actually have them before class on Thursdays, since like people are most likely to come right before or right after class. So attend office hours when you need to. If you really can't make my hours, there's a appointment request form, which I implemented when in the pandemic, when everything was online, because I get so much email. And so it's easier for me to set up an appointment if all of the, the day you want and the time you want and the stuff you want to talk about all is in a little spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet oriented person. And communicate with me if you're having trouble with any aspect of the class. Guess what? People do run into challenges and fall behind. That just makes you human. It doesn't make you a bad student. You're just a person that, maybe had some bad luck in a semester. So I'm definitely happy to help you. So, yeah. All right. So now, again, y'all already, most of y'all already have a pretty good sense of what we're going to be doing in this class and what technical communication is. If we want to get academic about it, textbooky about it, it's an audience-centered means of communication that provides a reader with clear and easy access to information. And with that easy access, we want to make it easy to literally find things on the page. A lot of technical documents, even short ones, people don't sit down and read all the way through. They look through the headings to find the section they need to read, and then they move on with their day. That doesn't mean no one reads things all the way through. It definitely happens, but it's also quite common. You might have done this, maybe you've gotten a long email from administration and you're like, I know not all of this applies to me, but I'm going to just skim for the part that is relevant. That's pretty normal human behavior, and technical writing really just embraces that head on. So we will be doing a lot with headings and other submarkers, such as bullet points, bold, things like that. Working with the layout and design aspects of text to help the reader stay focused and organized. And I know this is general tech writing. This is not hardcore publishing design class. I've taught those too. We're going to keep it pretty simple, but what we'll go over in class is it's going to be enough to really make you stand out, because most people, and I mean, I have worked with some amazing people, talented, smart, I've done editorial work for just some people who are really sharp, and they're like, yeah, but all I know how to do in Word is bold, italics, and underline. And you know what, if that's all you know how to do right now, that's all right. But by the end of the semester, you will have enough tools, like just basic formatting tools, that people will be like, you are a genius. It is really amazing to me that people think I am a genius because I know how to do a text wrap around a photo to make the photo and the text look nice together. So you will know how to do that, and people will they will, you're really going to stand out. And readers really just, they want to access clear information right away. In a workplace, especially now, people aren't going to just sit around to I wonder what they meant by this. No, people don't want that. They're just like, I need this information now, go, good. They need to just get it immediately. So your job is to help them. In terms of words and phrases and sentence structure, straightforward, uncomplicated, right to the point, no filler. And jargon does get a bad rap, yet often in tech writing, sometimes you're writing for people who are less specialized than you. A lot of times you're writing for your peers. And so when you're writing for your peers in a particular trade or profession, using language and terms specific to that profession is both acceptable and necessary. People in your same profession, you can either assume they already have the same vocabulary as you, or if they don't quite yet, you can assume that they'll know where to go to figure that out. You can't always expect that with a general reader. So in technical writing, we're writing for both, and we'll get to play with that some in the coming weeks. Now, again, a lot of you have done a fair amount of academic writing, and there are definitely some elements of overlap between academic writing and tech writing. It's not like academic writing's here and tech writing is here, and like there's a magnetic force field keeping them apart. That's not it. But there are some distinctions. So sometimes academic writing, like sometimes that's, you might have taken a creative writing class where the point is to, entertain or to express yourself. And I'm wearing a poetry t-shirt today. So my background is creative writing. So I might make fun of creative writing a little bit, but it's out of love. A lot of persuasive writing, and most of you have done that, also to inform. And academic writing, it may not have like a definite purpose, especially creative writing may not have a definite purpose. But then there are aspects like an article or an academic book or an essay you write for class. Well, there's a definite purpose. So the more informative it is, the more likely it is to have a definite purpose. Technical writing, heavy on the informed side of the spectrum. Really big on informative stuff. Also, like I said, you will use persuasion as a technique, but we're not going to write a persuasive essay. So think of all of the tools you learned for a persuasive essay. Think of it, you've got a toolbox of like writing skills, and it's in your toolbox that you pull out and apply it as necessary. You wouldn't take a hammer to do the job of a screwdriver. So, and that is one of my hopes in this class, is you'll understand the ways in which different aspects of writing are not the be all end all, but just tools that you can apply in different situations. Technical writing definitely makes use of research, as does academic writing. The types of research are going to be a little different. Like you're not necessarily going to be using as many like academic articles as you might in academic writing. But one thing we'll be wanting to look at is what are called trade publications or trade journals, which are they are less abstract than academic stuff, but they're really aimed at people in a profession who have skills and deep knowledge. And with technical writing, there is almost always a deep purpose. I say almost always because, invariably, if I say always, there will be some sort of weird exception that I've never considered. But there's pretty much always a definite purpose, such as the supervisor orders the report and the employee writes the report. And, there's the need to read for information, and that's it. Not much interest in the entertainment value. You just want to get in, get your information, and get out. It's like me anytime I have to like buy, honestly, even go to the grocery store, get in, get exactly what I need, and get out. Academic writing, and again, there's some overlap. They're not little like silos. And now, especially academic writing at the undergraduate level, stuff that you mostly have experience with, you've probably done a lot with how to do a paragraph and writing in topic sentences. You probably haven't done a lot with headings yet. I know some of you have, but a lot of you have not. When I was an undergrad, I really didn't start working with headings or other structural markers like that until my senior year. So a lot of you just haven't encountered that yet, because it's not the way we teach a lot of academic writing at the undergraduate level. and you might have some experience using graphics of some kind, but you might not. Again, not emphasized a lot at the undergraduate level. We do see those things in more specialized academic papers. So like, scientific papers will have like stills from MRI or microscope imaging, or there'll be charts or graphs, things like that. So in technical writing, we are going to delve into the formatting side from the get-go, from the whole semester, because it's important. Learning how to do major headings, subheadings, things such as bullets, italics, underline, bold type, and white space, a term I have a real aversion to because it's overused in creative writing. And we'll learn about the way that standards and styles change and evolve. So again, I've been working in the industry in various capacities since 2005. Underlining is not, it's sort of like on the way out stylistically. That doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean you should never use it. You'll see some of my materials, I make use of it. It's just that it's not, it's not fashionable right now to use it. And that's all right. And we'll be definitely working with illustrations such as graphs, tables, pictures, line drawings, maps. Don't worry, I know this is not graphic design class. There will be times when we do experiment with making our own graphics, because again, it's useful to have some experience with that, even if it's never going to be your thing. But again, this is not graphic design class. I do not expect anyone to be producing like amazing line drawings. I can't even draw a circle and I've been fine. But again, it's good to at least have exposure to these things. And finally, now in academic writing versus technical writing, there often is, this is often where the biggest gap is. And again, I'm not saying there's not overlap, because there are definitely different kinds of academic writing, but there is definitely more allowance of elaborate words. In many ways, written transitions like the topic sentence and the closing sentence of a paragraph have more weight, because you often don't have a visual transition in the form of a heading. It can be more subjective, it can be more cogitative, which is a fancy word for super intellectual. And you can employ multiple meanings. Sentence structure has a tendency to be more complex. On the creative writing side, embellishment allowed and even sometimes encouraged. There is a tendency, academic writing gets often criticized for being excessively wordy. That's definitely one of my foibles, one of those things that's one of my own habits I've really needed to work to overcome. And also in the realm of figurative language, there's synonyms. The use of synonyms is acceptable. I'm trying to get this thing to move because I think it's blocking. But the last one is passive voice. In certain academic disciplines, passive voice is okay, specifically the hard sciences. That is changing a little bit. I have seen a slight change in that over time, but it's still pretty entrenched. Whereas technical writing, active vocabulary. If you want to practice building a strong technical writer vocabulary, certainly learning the key terms of your industry is important, but also build a good memory bank of different kinds of verbs. Having a variety of verbs and knowing which ones to use at the right time makes a huge difference. It makes your writing much more engaging, but it does without relying on any like fancy rhetorical strategies. Technical writing is plain, easily understood, fact-based, aims for neutrality, like neutral language. Even if we're using a persuasive technique, we want to keep our language neutral, and the persuasion will come in like the presentation of specific data sets. Minimal pronoun use, but it is allowed in the sense that technical writing prefers active voice most of the time. And so technical writing also, it's pragmatic. You make compromises. So you don't want to use I and we too much, but if it's it comes down to writing, we ran an experiment, active voice, versus an experiment was run, passive voice. Go with the we ran an experiment, keep it active. So there are stylistic principles we want to follow, but we also want to know when to compromise and bend the rules when necessary. Some use of repetition is allowed. You'll see an example of that in our memo exercise next week. But you want to keep it simple. We don't want to use synonyms. We want to just, if you use the word feasible, you just want to use feasible throughout the entire thing. And you, again, straightforward language. This is not the, if you're using overly fancy language, I'm going to write thesaurus abuse. This is not the time to show me like how well you aced that SAT test. It's not a thing. Also, if you are the type of person who has often been stressed out because you have a tendency to just write short documents, you have trouble meeting word counts or page count minimums, guess what? You are in the right place. You are at an advantage. All right, questions. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment so I can better, I can better see the chat. And, if you just have a quick question, you can unmute and ask me directly. All right, no pressing questions. So, syllabus, right. You know what? I have also been guilty of thesaurus abuse as well. So don't feel bad. And guess what? We all truly, every working writer, every professional writer still has their bad habits that they need to work around. Again, there are always genius exceptions everywhere, sure. But for the most of us who are, hustling and holding it down, we still, I have a tendency to be excessively wordy. I have a tendency to sometimes repeat myself too much. We all have our foibles. It's okay. and you just practice. You just practice at it. Angelica, I'm not sure I understand your question because
so when I try to use the Zoom classroom button over like over in the blue bar, it wouldn't allow me to join. So I had to join from my phone, which the internet is a little spotty. So in the beginning of class, there was a lot of like cutting out and delays. So I was just wondering if there was a link to where we could access the class.
I am sorry you ran into that problem. First question, and whenever anyone runs into a tech issue, I often ask what seems like a dumb question, but it is just to rule out anything simple. Were you already, so when you tried to click the Zoom classroom link, were you already logged into your Zoom account through ACC?
Yes.
Okay, that is good for me to know. Did you try the version of the link that is in the course content folder?
No, I did not.
Okay, that's okay, because not everyone remembered it was there. But I put the classroom link into places, redundancy of information. So y'all, if any of you ran into a similar problem, please just email me after class so that I can have a record. And then by having that record, if this is affecting a large number of students, that gives me a clue as to whether it's something I need to fix on my end, or if it's something I need to contact tech support for. It could be one or the other. So I'm going to make a note about this, but anyone else who ran into a similar issue, please email me after class. And then I have the record, and that helps me either troubleshoot or send it up the chain. But thank you for letting me know. And all right, it's written in my notebook, so I will remember to look into it. So yeah, so yeah, you do need to be signed into ACC to access the class. I know it's just one more step, but Zoom bombing is a thing. I have not had it happen in a class yet, but I've been in rooms where it's happened. It's at best, it's unpleasant. So, and because as a teacher, it is my responsibility to ensure that you and your information are safe and secure, I have added this layer of security. And I know that no security is perfect, but I have added layers of protection to try to just to make that easier. All right, we only have 10 minutes left, which is unusual. Usually by the last class of the week, I'm just I've like cut it down and it actually goes fast, but I will share my screen real quick to do a brief syllabus review. And oh goodness, just a reminder, syllabus quiz due Friday. You have 3 chances to take it. So if you weren't happy with your first score, guess what? You can go, as long as you get them done by the deadline, you can retake it. So here's our information. These are my office hours: Tuesdays 2 to noon to 2:30, Thursdays 11 to 1:30. Doing it in larger blocks, that's often more useful. Like I have found it, everyone has their own approach, but if I get a lot of students coming in, it just it makes it more streamlined. Please note the office hours room is different from our classroom. There's a specific link, so you can actually see this office hours link here, and the blue bar in Blackboard takes you to office hours. Here's the office hours link here. Here's the link to the appointment request form. If you need that, again, please make use of it. Don't think you can't get help from me. I have the form, again, not as a barrier, but it helps me stay organized, and it helps us be more efficient in setting up a meeting. Course rationale, learning outcomes. We are online. There's no textbook because your textbook would just be obsolete next semester. So you'd have spent $120 for like nothing, and they'll only give you like, I don't know, 50 cents for it at half price books. I love half price books, but let's be honest, you're not going to get that investment back. So and honestly, to me, the way you really learn to write is to write. So we'll definitely look at example documents. You'll definitely have access to those. But we're not going to have a textbook. Plus, like, theory is great, but if you don't actually know how to do things, then if I haven't actually taught you how to do things, then I haven't taught you anything. All right, grades. I do try to have everything graded within a week of the deadline. And there are points when I don't keep up with that as well as I'd like, because I'm also an assistant chair and there are reports to write and meetings to go to. But I do aim to do that every week. Your weighted total is the one I use for your final grade. Also, I keep a running column of extra credit in Blackboard. It does not get factored into your final grade until the last week of the semester, because Blackboard makes it a huge pain in the butt to calculate extra credit. So I will keep track of it. You'll be able to see the column with the number of extra credit points that you have accrued. It's just that does not get balanced in until the very end, because I'm just gonna give myself that headache 1 week a semester. Please submit homework through its designated Blackboard link. Do not submit via email. And again, I have reasons for everything I do. And this is because, especially since we've been fully online, well, I've always graded with rubrics because I'm a big fan of transparency. Like I always, when I was in high school, I had a lot of teachers who'd be like B, and I'm like, but why? So I want you to see the breakdown of why I gave you this certain grade you did. Well, when we're all online, like before the pandemic, I still graded by hand. I'm the only one in my department because I'm just stubborn like that. But since we've been all online, I put the rubric into Blackboard. You submit it through the Blackboard submission portal. The rubric's right there. They're next to each other. You can see it. I can see it. It makes it more transparent and more efficient for everyone. So that's why I'm a stickler about send it through Blackboard. It just keeps things going smoother. Blackboard is also, look, and I know everyone makes mistakes. So if you're like, oh no, I forgot to turn in my I forgot to include my reference page in my report. I've set it up so you can submit the same assignment twice, not revise and get a better grade. I treat the writing assignments like the test in like a math class, but it is like, oh my gosh, I turned this in and forgot my reference page. Resubmit with the reference page, and it's fine. Here's the breakdown of our assignments and our grade percentage. I know we have only 6 minutes left. I am a big let people out on time person. So live sessions, there might be some videos or reading assignments, discussion boards. We're going to use a different method than VoiceThread for our audio, a couple of audio assignments, more information on that when it's relevant. The writing assignments and occasional tests, quizzes, or reflections. Obviously, we will not do all of these every week. We'll do a mix of three to four. Withdrawal policy, it's your job to withdraw from the class. I have the right to withdraw you at any point, especially if you disappear for a month and don't respond to any of my emails or anything like that. But ultimately, it is your responsibility, especially because honestly, I have a lot on my to-do list, and remember to withdraw someone who hasn't been here for a month might not float to the top. So if you want out, withdraw. The final withdrawal date for the semester is Thursday, November 19th. If you really want to leave the class, I recommend you get that in advance, because Thursday to the 19th tends to be a bit of a challenging day. Again, late work policy, email me, tell me when and how you're going to catch up. Plagiarism, important. And I will say plagiarism is in many ways culturally specific, or you simply haven't learned about it in school. This is one of my challenges as a teacher was, oh, wow, people didn't learn plagiarism the way I did. So if you have any questions or concerns, come to Catherine, come to me. We are happy to help you suss that out. Very happy. Consequences for plagiarism, there might be points off homework. If it's minor or like the first time, you could fail the assignment, you could fail the whole course, you could be withdrawn from the course instead of failing, which has its own set of issues. You could be reported to the dean and have to undergo a formal process. I've had to do that once. I never want to do it again. No one likes it. So let's not let it get that far. Don't buy a paper. The worst plagiarism case I caught, someone had copied and pasted a Vox.com essay. And I was like, this is exactly this essay I read on Vox.com. And she looked at me and she just was like, I paid for that. It's just not worth it, y'all. It's just not worth it. Yeah, it happened. I'm not any odd stories. They're not made up. They happen. Extra credit offered to the group as a whole, not to anyone in particular, because you didn't do homework for a month. Incompletes, I will grant them as necessary, but I will tell you that ideally what we would do is have a conversation and develop a plan to get you caught up, because it is really hard to complete last semester's coursework in the new semester. And The deadline for doing that is strict. There's no flexibility on that. ACC sets it. If you miss it, you fail the course, when otherwise you probably would have gotten a C. And look, I know most of you don't want a C, but we can all agree a C is better than an F. And here's our course calendar, which again, I will send you an updated one on Monday. I apologize. And the last 7 pages is all college policies. All right, with the last 2 minutes. Oh, I was already in course content. Unit 1. Again, most of you have already done most of the work for this week, so thank you, kudos. If you haven't done your introductory post, I think everyone actually has, but if you haven't, the first post was due last night, so go get that done, quick like a bunny. Responses are due tomorrow night to 2 classmates, if not more. Student survey, this is a ACC Google Doc. You need to be logged into your ACC Google account to access. It's a way for me to get to know you just a little better, and you can opt in the event of like a snowpocalypse to get text messages from me for class updates. Again, I would only use this in the case of a severe emergency when like there's no internet, and totally voluntary. You will not hurt my feelings or make me angry if you opt out. Totally fine either way. And then the syllabus quiz. And again, if you didn't like your first grade, you have 2 opportunities. This is the only quiz where you get multiple opportunities, because I really want to make sure you've read the syllabus. So just so you know, only quiz. All right, 1 minute left. Any last questions?
Can I just jump in real quick before
Absolutely.
I log off and ask everybody, if you haven't done it, to please fill out that survey? Because I appreciate everyone who already has, but if you haven't, just click on that link. It'll take you straight to the form, and it'll take you a minute, maybe 2, to do it.
Yeah, and that, yeah.
Don't worry about, you're not committing yourself to anything if you put the time down. Most of the tutoring sessions are at your request, right? So, but just give me a good idea of what your schedule looks like so that I can try to do my best to meet your needs. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, it is 3:30, so you are free to go. If you have any last questions, I can stay on a few minutes, but I do have another exciting first week of school meeting to get to in short order. So if you have one, ask it quick. Yes, Ian. Oh, he was just waiting. Cool.